Welcome back, man. It's your boy Zeke, aka Fat Boy Season, and we're here to talk about. I'm a little late. I'm sorry. We're here to talk about the Elijah Moore trade to our Cleveland Browns. Your Cleveland Browns, most importantly, my Cleveland Browns. Super excited for this trade. We were able to get Elijah Moore and the Jets' third-round pick for our only remaining second-round pick. And I love the trade. I love the trade because you essentially get a talented guy for moving down about 30 spots in the draft. So it was a pick swap, and you got a receiver. I'm personally am an Elijah Moore fan. I learned about him through how we learned about a lot of players, man. Fantasy football. A couple years ago in this rookie campaign. Obviously, he had like a 5 or 6 game stretch with the Jets when Zach Wilson wasn't playing, unironically. And he was pretty doggone good, man. He had a 2 touchdown game in there. I think he had a couple 100-yard games in there. And some games where he was in that 60 to 80 to 100 range as far as yardage. Physically, exactly what we need. He's not a traditional slot guy. He plays some outside. He plays some slot. Which shouldn't be a problem because Amari moves in and out, and DPJ can as well. So you got 3 guys that are versatile. They can play inside and outside. Like I said, his athleticism is something to definitely be happy and excited about. 4.35 speed. 4.35 speed. 4.35 speed. When is the last time the Browns have had somebody with 4.35 speed that could actually ball, man? No disrespect to Anthony Schwartz, but we kind of been through that experiment already. Elijah Moore is capable of taking a slant to the crib, and we currently don't have nobody that's like really able to do that. So massive need filled there. He's able to take top off the defense, go routes, post routes. Like I said, he can take 5-yard slant, 60 yards, 70 yards. This is what we need, man. That was a little smoky smoke surrounded by Jerry Jeudy for the Broncos. One, I don't understand why they actually are thinking about trading him when you invested money in Russell Wilson and you got a wide receiver on a rookie deal. But that's not my team. So I was hoping that we get him. He's had a little bit more production. However, man, the Elijah Moore time in New York was really defined by 2 things: when he played with Zach Wilson versus when he didn't play with Zach Wilson. Like the splits, I'm sure by now you've seen them. They different. He looks like a completely different player when anybody else not named Zach Wilson throw him the ball. And it's not like these guys are Hall of Famers. We're talking about an old Joe Flacco. We're talking about Josh Johnson. We're talking about Mike White. We're talking about Chris Streveler. Who? Chris Streveler. So, with that being said, man, this is a really, really, really good move for the Browns. We got a very explosive player. I think he's a guy capable of getting you 1,000 yards. I really think he's that talented. He was a former second-round pick, but the second pick in the second round, so that's basically a first-rounder, if you ask me. That was the 2021 draft, which was loaded with wide receivers. Yeah, that was loaded with wide receivers. That was the year. Maybe it wasn't loaded. It's leaving me right now, but I'll remember in a second. However, that was Chase, Jamar Chase, Waddle, Elijah Moore. But I'll remember in a second. However, that was Chase, Jamar Chase, Waddle, Elijah Moore, Devonta Smith. Yes, it was some ballers in that draft. So definitely an opportunity for the Browns to be more explosive. We've heard it all off season that the Browns are going to be more pass happy, air raid, whatever you want to call it, to basically have your quarterback feel very comfortable, which when you pay him $230 million guaranteed, this is what it's about. So I love to trade, man. I think my list of guys coming into this offseason that I wanted to see from a wide receiver standpoint, um, I know my top three probably were Hop, Elijah Moore, and Jerry Judy in no particular order, and then followed by like Brandon Cooks and a couple other guys. But as far as like fit in the need of what we wanted, not being very expensive, and having control over the contract for 2 years, win. Andrew Berry does what Andrew Berry thinks, man. This is why I'm never panicking with Andrew Berry, because I know he's at least going to kick the tires on something. He's looking and trying and going to make a really good deal at the end of the day. I seen a tweet. It said, if you want to get fleeced in a wide receiver trade, call the Browns, man. We got Amari Cooper for a fifth, who went out and had one of his best years in his career, arguably the best, because he had a career high in touchdowns. You could say his second best, whatever you want to do. And this year, basically a pick swap, a second and a third pick swap for Elijah Moore. Like I said, he hasn't done it for an entire season, but like I said, anytime he's played without Zach Wilson, he's looked like a guy who could potentially be a really good player in this league, a 1,000-yard receiver in this league. And I think he will, man. Scramble drills, he's probably going to be pretty good, and just being able to take the top off the defense, make the safeties think about you a little bit more. What else does that do? That opens up the run game, the running lanes for one Nicholas Jamal Chubb, which is Big Nicholas Jamal Chubb, man. So if you get to the point where the safeties have to worry about the deep threats and worry about somebody blowing past them, Nick Chubb has never seen and never been around a box that's been like lighter than 7 or 8. And I think that's something that we're not thinking about. Like if Deshaun Watson gets back to being Deshaun Watson, or 80% or 90% of Deshaun Watson of who he was in 2020, which was his best individual season, and now having a guy that can take the top off the defense, how many people are they going to put in the box? You give me Nick Chubb, Wyatt Teller, Joel Bitonio against Ethan Pochich, against a 6-man box. And I think that's the underrated method, or the under discussed topic is, yeah, Nick Chubb may be reduced to about 15 carries a game. Well, I mean, realistically, I think he probably was around maybe 17, 18 this year. Traditionally, in all of his years, he's averaged over 5 a clip, right? And going back to even his rookie year, he's had games where he's been over 100 and hasn't carried at 10 or maybe 12. He had a couple of games where he had like 3 or 4 carries this rookie year and went for 100. You know what I'm saying? So he's a guy who doesn't need the ball a lot to be effective. So I think he could be in that 15 to 17 carry range and still get you 1,200 yards, 1,300 yards. And he's a career 5-yard per carry carrier. If we get 6 in a box, he just might go for 5.5 a clip. It sounds crazy. It sounds wild, I know, but go light in the box if you want to. We still got Nick Chubb in the best guard tandem in the league, especially when it comes to run blocking. So I think that's a very underrated component, and this is just kind of how you put all of the pieces together. Deshaun Watson, Amari Cooper's here, David Njoku gets extended, the offensive line is back, Nick Chubb's in there. Oh shit, we got a speedy receiver. So it's coming full circle. Shout out to Andrew Berry for doing the things that Andrew Berry does, and let's go Browns, man. I'm very excited for this move. Like I said before, Elijah 8. Welcome to Cleveland, man. I think you're gonna have a great season. I think the Browns have had a really good offseason. I'll do another video on all their moves thus far, because I think they made a couple since my last. However, Go Browns. Keep doing what you're doing.